Infrastructure, health, and education are my inspiration and my guiding lights. Ladies and gentlemen, my challenges as the first woman Chief Minister and the first woman Chief Executive of Punjab was not only to upgrade and uplift the physical infrastructure of the educational institutions of Punjab, but to also address the stagnation in the approach to education in order to match the rapidly evolving educational and technological landscapes, global landscapes. Worthy friends of education, I am very happy to share that Punjab has launched one of the most ambitious school education reform program in our history. My objective is not just literacy, but fostering a learning environment that liberates, not just brick and mortar, but inclusion. This gathering, under your gracious patronage, my dear First Lady, Amina Unwan, is not only a celebration of women's leadership, it is a collective act of moral imperative. It asks, what can we do together that we cannot do alone? How can the stories of our people find echoes and answers in one another's land? In Pakistan's largest province, Punjab, where I serve as the first woman Chief Minister, these questions are not rhetorical. They are the very foundation of our reforms, of our educational reforms. My government's foremost commitment is to women and children, to education and opportunity, and to dignity and justice. And it is in these arenas that I seek to construct a unique model of governance that is both ethical and effective. In every society, ladies and gentlemen, where injustice festers, it begins by denying children the right to grow into their fullest selves. Education is not merely a sector, it is the architecture of hope. And so we began where hope is born, in the school. Let me share a few highlights of the initiatives my government has launched, which are not only very close to my heart, but under my direct vigil and supervision. Upgradation of over 4,000 primary schools into elementary schools is underway, ensuring that girls and boys, especially those who belong to the rural areas, do not have to drop out after class 5 due to lack of nearby middle schools. This upgradation is not a token gesture. It is a systemic intervention against generational dropouts. Digital learning rooms are being established in over 6,000 schools across Punjab, integrating technology with pedagogy, and in remote villages where chalk and duster were once the only tools, children now explore science, art, technology, mathematics through screens that connect them to the globe. Through rehabilitation of non-functional schools, we are reviving hundreds of those schools, converting them from symbols of state failure into sanctuaries of learning, into seats of learning excellencies. I come to you not only as the Chief Minister of Punjab, but also an ambassador of education. And when it comes to girls' education excellencies in particular, I am here as a mother to every girl child in Punjab. My personal mission is to ensure that no child is left behind due to poverty, geography, gender, or social restrictions. An extensive school nutrition program has been launched in underserved districts to combat malnutrition among students, especially girls, who face a disproportionate burden of undernourishment. It is both emotional and heartening for me to see children excitedly relishing packs of milk every morning. Reform, ladies and gentlemen, is not just about what is taught, but it is also about who teaches. We are recruiting about 30,000 new school teachers entirely on merit, reviving regular appointments that had been stalled in Punjab for years. For the first time, we have established a dedicated teacher training and curriculum development institution with continuous professional development programs aligned to the 21st century learning goals. Our reforms, ladies and gentlemen, are student-centered. We are piloting personalized learning platforms, artificial intelligence-powered tools that adjust curriculum pace based on each child's learning outcomes. I am also delighted to share, my friends, that we are building Pakistan's first internet city, named after the only person to be the 3 times Prime Minister, Muhammad Nawaz Sharif. I am also very happy and delighted to share that we are establishing Pakistan's first dedicated artificial intelligence university in the very heart of Punjab, the famous Lahore. Distinguished friends, allow me to conclude by sharing 2 stories that have moved me deeply personally. Nida, a young girl from a remote village in district Kasur in Punjab, was married just at 16. Her husband, also a student, could barely afford his own education fee, let alone hers. Yet, Nida dared to dream. She was the first in her family to attend university. When she faced the prospect of dropping out due to unpaid fee, she sent me a handwritten letter. That letter moved me deeply. It became the spark behind our flagship Honahar Scholarship. Honahar means meritorious, a program designed to support 50,000 students like Nida annually. Today, she is in her 2nd semester and dreams of becoming a teacher. I'm proud to say, and I'm proud to share, ladies and gentlemen, that 50% of the scholarship goes to the girls who are deserving and meritorious both. Girls I see as future leaders in education, science, and beyond. And there's another very inspirational story, ladies and gentlemen, again very close to my heart. Ikram, a young boy from south of Punjab. His father sold their only buffalo, his family's sole source of income, to send his son to university. But they didn't realize tuition had to be paid every semester. When Ikram applied for the Honahar Scholarship, not only did we fund his continuing education, but we also reimbursed the semester fee his father had paid from the sacrifice of their only livelihood. Today, Ikram is thriving, and so is his family. Of the students who have received the scholarships, above 2,000 have lost their fathers, 91 have lost both parents. Behind each number is not just a statistic, but a child who has endured the unimaginable and still chooses to rise. They walk into classrooms carrying grief, but also carrying dreams. They remind us that in a fragmented world, marked by loss, education holds the transformative power to heal, uplift, renew, and build a brighter future. As we all know, ladies and gentlemen, education is the biggest social equalizer. My dear friends, while I speak from a provincial vantage, our challenges and triumphs are not contained by borders. The Palestinian mother searching for her child beneath the rubble, the Afghan girl barred from classrooms, the Kashmiri children trying to break shackles of discrimination, the Sudanese refugee walking miles for food. These are not just someone else's crisis. They are the crisis of conscience for the entire humanity. And here, ladies and gentlemen, Turkey has shown the way through relentless compassion, through diplomatic dignity, and through the leadership of Excellency Emine Erdogan, who reminds us that elegance and empathy belong together. Punjab, under my leadership, reaffirms its moral alliance with all women and children under siege. In forums of power and on the streets of protest, we will be a voice for the voiceless, inshallah. Let us not mistake soft words for soft resolve. Women in the leadership roles today carry not just the burden of performance, but the weight of history. We are not here to merely replicate power. We are here to rewrite its purpose. And I call upon this forum, let us create a global compact for girls' education, a coordinated South-South initiative backed by national commitments where we exchange policy, pedagogy, and pathways for ensuring that every girl from Marrakesh to Multan, from Dakar to Diyarbakir, from Delhi to Dhaka, enters school, stays in school, and thrives in school. Let us institutionalize peer mentorship among women leaders so that the wisdom of one office can guide another and sisterhood becomes our infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen and friends of education, let us launch a diplomacy of dignity where foreign relations are not merely transactional but transformational, anchored in the well-being of people, not just states. I take this opportunity to invite the top universities of Turkey to expand their presence in Punjab, to create more centers of eminence, more centers of excellence, where our youth can learn, grow, and lead. Let us ensure that our collaboration and exchange programs become the foundation for a brighter, human-centric future, a future that both Pakistanis and Turkish generations will be proud to inherit. To all gathered here, let us all not only lead but liberate. Let us not only reform, let us recreate. Shukriya. Thank you ever so much, everyone. May our work be worthy of our people. Long live Pak Turkey friendship. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.